All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about CP points and what you need to know. So to get to your CP points, if you haven't started doing it, what you're going to do is you're going to hit start, go down to champion, and these are where you put your CP points. Okay, so the blue region here, okay, it's a mage if I recall right. Yeah, the mage. These are your damage. Okay, these are where you're going to put your damage points. Whether you are Magicka or stamina based. Okay, the red ones, these are for your protection and health, and the green ones are for your stamina and your, I guess you call it utility sort of items. And we'll go over kind of what they do each one. Okay, so right now I have a Magicka based character open, and as you can see, he's got an Elfborn, Elemental Expert, and I probably could put a few in Spell Erosion, but I didn't do that. Okay, so Magicka base, you're going to pretty much use the Apprentice for the base of your Magicka stuff. Okay, let's go all the way over here to this side here in the Ritual. Okay, this is where you're going to put most of your stamina based stuff in Precise Strikes, Piercing, and Mighty. Okay, these are where you're going to increase your power, okay, and your damage in those. Okay, now while we're in this one, Thaumaturge is used for both Magicka and stamina. Okay, so you're going to see a lot of points here, a lot of times on PvE characters. Okay, now this section here, Master at Arms is used for both characters, stamina and Magicka, but Staff is only used for Magicka, and Weapons Expert, Physical Weapons Expert is only used for your Magicka base or stamina base. Sorry. Okay, now over here in your protection, okay, most people are going to be using Ironclad, Spell Shield, Hardy, Elemental Defender, and Thick-Skinned. Okay, and most people in this section aren't going to be using stuff if you're a damage dealer. I am using Bastion because I do have a shield, and I need as much shield as possible, for protection. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at some of these specifically. Okay. First, we're going to look up here at the perks. Okay, so these are the perks. You have to put a certain amount of items, champion points, into each section in order to get perks to come out. So in Snare, when you use Bash, you have a 33% chance to reduce enemies' movement speed by 20% for 30 seconds. Okay, so I got this by just putting 10 points in. Okay, Inspiration. Okay, I got this because I put 30 points in. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, now there are a few of these that I always try to get enough into as much as possible because it's just important, especially in this green section. Okay, so I always try to put as many as possible into Tumbling and Shadow Ward so I can get Fortune Seeker, Merchant Favored, and Treasure Hunter. Okay, Treasure Hunter increases the quality of items you find in chests. Merchant Favor reduces the cost of repairing, and Fortune Seeker gives you 50% more gold. Okay, which you'll find in safe box and treasure chests. Okay, over here in this one, I always make sure I have Plentiful Harvest and try to get Master Gatherer as much as possible. Pretty easy to do because if you use Tenacity or Arcanist, if you're a Magicka build, or Tenacity and Mooncalf, you're more than likely going to get over 100 points into this very, very easily. Master Gatherer reduces gathering time. Okay, so if you're out running around and you're gathering items, it takes a lot less time. You usually hit with the axe one time, and if you have on also auto loot, it takes no time. You just hit with the axe one time, and auto loot picks it up, and you move on. If you don't have this, he usually hits 3 times. So it ding, 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 and then you pick it up. Okay, so this is very important, especially on your crafters. Okay, whoever you send out to get your stuff. Okay, Plentiful Harvest, this again is very important for your crafters because you have a 10% chance to gain a double yield from normal resource nodes. Okay, so instead of getting 3, you might get 6 or 7. Whatever it is, scraps, whatever it is that you're picking up. Okay. Now over here, Inspiration is very important. Okay, you want to try to get as much as you can into Inspiration, especially when you're first starting out, because this helps out with your crafting. Okay, it helps you level up your crafters faster. All right. Also, we need to look at, you want to try to get this one as much as possible, okay? An exploiter, okay? Because this one is, when you put an enemy off balance, you get a 10% increase, okay? So with this exploiter, it's actually good to show you this also, okay? If we look at Thaumaturge here, okay, increase your damage done with damage over time effects by 23.4%, okay? I know that this is incorrect, okay, because our jump points, they're called jump points, okay, CP jump points, okay. When you do your CP, you want to have your CP end, oh, change my screen. You want it to end as close as possible to 23, but it needs to be over 23, okay. So I could actually stopped here on Thaumaturge, but instead I went to 75, okay. Those 3 points extra are just being wasted, okay. There's no use for those in this sort of setup, okay. Thaumaturge is one that does the jump points, okay. But I did put the 3 in there because I wanted to get the exploiter, okay. I could have put it in a piercing, okay, which doesn't use jump points, but I just left it in Thaumaturge because piercing, I don't need that for my character. It would have been wasted either way I did it, okay. So an example here would be Master at Arms again, okay, 20.5%. Okay, if I would have left it at 19.93%, I would have been wasted. I would be wasting 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 CP points. Okay, I would have needed to put them somewhere else. Okay, so you waste them if you get up over the 19%. Okay, so if I go up here to 20 again, 20.15, I know I'm using all my CP points correctly in Master at Arms. Okay, so you need to make sure, you need to keep that in consideration when you're building for your own character, when you're using your CP points. Now, sometimes it does happen that I have CP points and I don't know what to do with them. I have an extra one or an extra 2. Well, what do I do with that? Okay, well, it's very simple. Okay, in every section here, there is usually something like Sprinter. Okay, Sprinter, you can put them in here and they don't go against your CP points, okay? So you'll find that a lot of people have like 2 in Sprinter, okay, because they had an extra 2 CP points to put somewhere. Well, you might as well put them in somewhere useful, okay. Where else? Let's see. There are other ones. These are just the ones that I use, okay. Spell Shield, okay. So if I have an extra 1 or 2 points in the red region in the warrior, I go ahead and put them in Spell Shield, okay. So I can actually use those in a useful way, okay. If I'm in the blue one here, I'm going to put them in Spell Erosion if I have a couple extras. Okay, as you can see here, I have nothing in Spell Erosion. I probably should have something in this, but my other character works out just fine. He doesn't seem to use them, and most of you have seen this character online if you watch my videos. Alright, so now what do I do with my CP points? Okay, I get them. Where do I put them? Why would I put 70 to an Elfborn? Okay, or how many should I put in Elfborn? How many should I put in Elemental Expert? Okay, now these are kind of based on how you play, when you need them. If you're going to do a trial, you may even completely change your setup in this section here just so that you can do the trial better, because maybe the trial, there's a lot of Magicka based stuff, so you're going to put more in Spell Shield and maybe Elemental Defender than you would maybe in Hardy, because there's no poison or there's no disease in that, you know, or there's less, okay, but there's more Magicka, so you might put more in Elemental Defender. So that's certain things you will change depending on where you're going to play. Most of my setups are set up, you know, pretty much well-rounded. They will work pretty much everywhere, but there are some trials that you really need to adjust those. Okay, so let's say we have 190 CP points or 200 CP points. Well, where do I allot those? Okay, we want to keep our characters as well-rounded as possible, which means we want to have them good protection, good damage. We want to cover all types of damage. Right here, you want to make sure you have enough in critical, enough in Elemental Expert, enough in Spell Erosion, enough in Master at Arms, enough in Staff Expert. Okay, we want to make sure that we have it correct. Well, what do? Well, there's calculators online. Okay, so what you do is you search in Google for CP point calculator. Okay, and one of them that comes up, probably one of the first ones, will be ESO sets, and you go in there and you will. It has a couple questions. What type of character are you, or what are you? Are you Templar? Are you Sorcerer? Whatever. You select what you are. Then below that, it'll say, what is your role? Okay, so you're a damage dealer. Okay, so you select damage dealer. Then you put in below that, it'll say, how many CP points do you have? 200. Then you hit calculate, and it automatically calculates where you should put your CP points. Okay, so that'll help you out to be the most well-rounded character possible on those. That's what I do. Every time I'm building a new character, I go ahead and I put in the basic CP points for 810, and then I go adjust them as needed. It helps out a lot. You know, like I said here, I don't have any in spell erosion. I could probably put a few in there, but I didn't because it wasn't necessary for me to use that. So I hope I explained this well enough for you. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. There are many websites out there that do talk about these, if you're more of the type of person that likes to read. So if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comment section. And if you like the video, please like it and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.